Today's video is about the benefit that walking has for your professional development, particularly in terms of creativity, as well as communicating effectively as a leader. Now, walking has a lot of health benefits. We all know that, but we often don't connect walking with the actual professional development benefits that it has. And so today in this video, I'd like to share with you three of those benefits. Now, the first benefit is that it enhances your ability to be creative. Research out of Stanford University found that when a person is walking, they are actually 60% more creative than when they're compared to when they're just kind of sitting down and trying to be creative. So the next time you have an issue, a problem, a challenge that you're trying to solve, just go out for a walk with a pen and paper, keeping that problem in mind, and see if you can't brainstorm or better brainstorm solutions to that problem. The second benefit is that it helps you become a much more confident presenter and public speaker. And the reason being is that walking is a great avenue to practice and rehearse your speeches, where you don't feel like you're kind of stuck in your office in your home, just rehearsing in front of a wall or a video camera or a mirror. You're actually doing something that's not only healthy for your body, but that gives you the ability to practice over and over and over again. And so the next time you are preparing for a presentation or a speech, I challenge you to just kind of go out for a walk and visualize perhaps the slides that you're going to be putting forth, or perhaps the bullet points of your speech, and just kind of talk yourself through all of those as you're walking. And then the longer you walk, the more frequently you practice, the more practice you get, the more confident you will feel in the material. And ultimately, that confidence will display itself when you're actually doing the real thing, because you've actually done a lot of practicing that didn't really feel like you were stifled in front of an office or at your computer, just kind of sitting there and practicing and rehearsing. You can kind of guise it under, oh, this is a healthy activity, where the byproduct is confidence in my ability to speak because I'm practicing on the go. The third benefit of walking is that it simply helps you better manage difficult conversations. When difficult conversations arise, quite often the human stress response kicks in. We either feel like we need to flee, we need to fight, or we end up perhaps freezing. Right? When the human stress response kicks in, our ability to think logically essentially gets kind of suppressed, and we start speaking more from emotion. And so we end up moving from responding the way we want to, communicating the way we want to, and we end up reacting and perhaps saying things that we don't want to say, or we don't not able to think as logically when we communicate. And so what walking does is it helps you dissipate that stress response. It helps you mitigate it, calm yourself down by giving the stress response an outlet, that outlet being movement. And so this is how it becomes practical in your personal world. So let's say that you have a difficult conversation that you have to have on the phone with an individual, right? Or it can also be a situation where you have to have a one-on-one conversation. Instead of sitting in front of that individual or standing in front of that individual, just go for a walk. If the person's with you, great. You're both looking one direction and you're walking side by side, having this kind of difficult conversation. So you're both able to essentially help channel the emotion reaction that maybe both of you are having. It'll help that difficult conversation to some degree. The other option is when you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody on the phone. Maybe it's an argument that you're having, or just a big, tough information that you have to give somebody. If you do that while you have a headset on and you're walking, it will help you mitigate that stress response, and you'll be much more effective being able to think a little bit more logically when you're speaking. And there you have it. 3 professional benefits to walking on top of the obvious health benefits. Number 1, it helps you become more creative. Number 2, it helps boost your confidence for presentations and speaking engagements that you have. And then number 3, it helps you better mitigate the stress response when it comes to difficult conversation. I wish you well. Good luck.